Namaste to all. Welcome to English class. Here I give a short description on the topic Language Lab. So, what is Language Lab? Language Lab is arranged to make foreign language learning more effective, and it emphasizes on speaking and listening. So, it focuses on speaking and listening. And where is the lab will be set on? The Language Lab is set in computer rooms. So the next topic is components of a language lab. So what is console? The console is the instructor's room and it has master tapes and monitoring equipments for two-way communication, distribution switches to direct the recorded programs to the learners, and the monitoring switches to enable the instructor to listen to the listeners, to correct, to advise and evaluate them. And another is intercom switches for two-way communication with an individual learner, and group call switches for inviting attention of all the learners to receive general instructions, and also can switch for making announcement to the learners regardless of the program. And next is the hearing booth, and it is also known as cubicle. And what is cubicle? It has normally 16 to 20 booths with tables and seats for learners, and each student has a soundproof compartment called cubicle. So what is cubicle? It is a student has a soundproof compartment. It is called cubicle. Each cubicle is connected to the console or instructor's booth. Each cubicle connected to the console is provided with the microphones, headphones and recorder. In the console, the teacher selects the language teaching program according to the level of the student. The teacher will decide to give the topic to the students by knowing their level. In the booth, learner can record and play his own speech as many times as he desires. He can compare his speech with a master tape or CD and refine his speech step by step. So that's about all the components of a language lab. And another is control room. And what is control room? It contains all the tapes, records and other equipments properly indexed for quick use. It is like a storage or a kind of storeroom. We can see all the equipments in that room. And next is objectives of language laboratory. What are the objectives of language laboratory? To enable one to practice and access speech in language, to listen to model pronunciation, repeat and record the same and do self-assessment and correction, to learn at one's own pace. And next we can deal with characteristics of language lab. So the learner can work at his own place. This is the one most important thing in the characteristics of language lab. The learners can work at his own place. He can repeat his test any number of times till he is satisfied with his speech. He can select any other material according to his level, need or interest. And he can identify. And what is the and we move on to the language lab exercise. And what all are exercise we can see in the language lab? Identify the problem that needs practice, choose the correct type of drill, and prepare the tape or CD script. Make the recording, check the recording, evaluate the activity. And what are the merits of language lab? The student can grasp correct English pronunciation through a lot practice of white model, can detect errors by himself, and the student can learn at his own place and repeat as many times as he desires, feels free and confident, get more time for practice than he gets in his classroom, gets exposure to native type of language, become an active listener and speaker in the language lab, And what are the demerits of the language laboratory? Development of reading and writing skill has no scope in the language laboratory. More than 20 students cannot be accommodated in the language lab. Competent native speeches are rarely available. And in rural schools, installing a language laboratory may be difficult and very costly. So they will not recommend to do this in their school. Effective teachers who can exploit the full possibilities of language laboratory are rare. That's all about our topic. Thank you, students.